Okay, so I am doing this video. I am going to post it on YouTube, but it is actually aimed for my Facebook. This is my DNA account that I did this is my DNA. This is my old account, the one that I did in 2023. I bought it myself. I spat out the DNA. I also got DNA test for my son as well. So I have DNA tests for 3 different companies: Ancestry, MyHeritage, and 23andMe. For the record, I've turned off all the matches. So if you're trying to look up my name, if you've done DNA tests, you're not going to find it. I've put it on to private for many reasons. I'm not going to go into what right now. So this is my old DNA test. I can go here and I can go to my results summary. So this is the DNA test that I did in 2023. Now, I had other people trying to lay claim to this DNA. It is my DNA. I found it absolutely abhorrent that anyone would consider stealing my DNA results. And also another thing that annoyed me was that people were saying that it wasn't my DNA. It is my DNA. Now, I'm going to be talking quite a bit about different aspects of my DNA in this video. But what happened was people really did try to steal my DNA results and lay claim to it. I did have, because I did have all sorts of trouble with this, and then people trying to say that I'm lying about it, even though I bought all my DNA tests. And if you go through my bank statements, they're actually there. Also bought my son's DNA tests as well. So I did this 3 years ago, and a lot of people started causing me a lot of trouble. Literally, people tried to steal my DNA results. And other people tried to say that I was lying and that this wasn't my DNA. Okay, grow up, people. So because of that, I ended up buying another DNA test about a month ago. Okay? I then held on to that DNA test and I did a video, which I've posted on YouTube and I've put on Facebook, where I'm showing the packet unopened. You can see my name on it and all the delivery details. I've actually also kept those because that is actually quite important. Like keeping envelopes from official things can be quite important. So I've kept all of that plastic packaging around it, which has got all the barcodes and everything on it. I then decided, instead of doing my DNA test, either here or at my mum's on a video, I thought I'm going to do my DNA test somewhere where there's security. Now, I was umming and ahhing between doing it at the Home Office or doing it at the Houses of Parliament. So I did another video, which you can see on YouTube, and I've also posted it on Facebook, where I'm actually in the Houses of Parliament Peers Lobby. Now, I was not filming any staff members. I was just filming myself doing my own DNA test. I was talking to staff members, so in the video I've had to put cheesy music over the top to cover what they were talking about. Because it wasn't about filming any of the staff members at the Houses of Parliament. It was about me proving it's my DNA. So I did my second ancestry DNA to prove this one. I did it at the Houses of Parliament. I've posted that video online. Incidentally, that's the same day I got kicked out of the Houses of Parliament, apparently for breaching national security. I don't see how I breached national security. What happened was actually my device got hacked. My laptop got hacked and I was locked out of my own Ancestry DNA accounts. But thankfully, because they are my Ancestry DNA accounts, I was able to get them unlocked by phoning the company directly and dealing with it. Because you have to remember, I bought these DNA tests. There's information that the company know that only I have, and I'm not telling anybody that. So this is my old DNA test that I did in 2023. So obviously I'm going to quickly switch over to this is the one I've just done. So it is in the process. This is the one that I was videoing myself doing at the Houses of Parliament. Obviously, it takes a while for it to be processed. So basically, on the 3rd of December, I mailed in the sample. I was actually going to use the post office at the Houses of Parliament, but I chose not to due to their corruption. Because it wasn't me that was breaching national security, it was actually my security that was being breached. So the sample was received on the 15th of December. It's going through processing. This DNA has been extracted and it takes a while for it to come through. All my DNA matches are going to be exactly the same as on my other Ancestry account. The thing is, I've turned off the DNA matches for safety reasons, for my security and for other people's security. I did another DNA test. The first Ancestry DNA test I did, my mum bought me the kit as a birthday present. What happened with the first one is that somebody hacked it and started spoofing distant relatives of mine, distant cousins, and trying to get information about my family and whatnot. So I ended up completely deleting it. And that's when I bought the second one, which is the one I've just shown you. And obviously, all the DNA matches were the same as the first one. Because I'm not a liar. So I am now doing a third Ancestry DNA account. But as I said, I deleted the first one because it was a present from my mother. I didn't have proof of purchase. It is unfortunate that my mother lost that money and I had to delete the account, but it was compromised. Okay? So this is the DNA test this is the actual test that you see me doing at the Houses of Parliament. So I have put up a video on my Facebook. They're all on my YouTube channels. I put a video up of me with the packet unopened, showing my address, my name, all of the details there. I've kept that packaging. I then open it in front of the camera while at the Houses of Parliament and do my DNA test at the Houses of Parliament. You can see that video. I then sent it in, but because of the behaviour of the people at the Houses of Parliament who decided that kicked me out because they thought I was breaching national security, but actually it was my cyber security that was being breached. And I was going to post the DNA from the House of Parliament post office, but I actually decided to retrieve it and post it from elsewhere where I felt it was safer. Because corruption's corruption. So, there you go. And it will have, as I said, I've turned off my DNA matches on all of my DNA accounts for my own security and for my distant relatives' security, because I have experienced cybersecurity issues. And when my laptop was actually hacked at the Houses of Parliament, and I was locked out of my ancestry accounts, I also had to delete my online banking account completely. I went into the bank and shut it down. It was while I was at the bank that I actually contacted Ancestry and got entrance into both of my DNA accounts. This one, which I just started because obviously I was just doing a test, and the old one, and I also linked them together, and it's all completely connected. Okay? I'm not a fraudster, and I'm not a liar. Okay, so I've explained this bit, and unless people have watched the other videos, it's not going to make a lot of sense, so I advise people to look at the other videos. So this is going to be the same results as the other one because it's my DNA. So now going to my old DNA test, and I'm going to go to trees, where it says trees. I'm going to go to... Right, I'm just going to turn this away because if my tree shows my... I just don't want my son... I just want to make sure my son's picture's not there. Okay. So let me also just get rid of my mum's siblings and my dad's sibling. Okay. Yes, I have 2 children, but my daughter passed away 3 days after she was born. She was born under emergency cesarean. I had to have general anaesthetic. I was given general anaesthetic, and when I came to, she was already in intensive care on life support. The doctor switched off that life support 3 days afterwards, and she died in my arms. That's my sister, who I do not have any time for, to be perfectly honest with you. Okay, so I'm not going to go through my whole tree because I don't have to. What I wanted to do was to show people that I am really not lying about my ancestry. So I think if I go to this little search bar here, where you can find somebody in your tree, and I tap in James the 4th. In fact, I can go further back, but we'll start on James the 2nd of Scotland. Or actually, perhaps I'll start on Robert the 3rd. Robert the 3rd of Scotland. So, here we go. Now, there's lots of things that I have not added to my tree yet. So, it is bitty. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press on this, and then I'm going to open this in a new tab. Okay, so you can see who he is to me and how I'm related to him. Now, this is something that I just discovered how to do in the last month. All this time I didn't realise, because I was trying to do videos going up through the whole tree when I could just press on this. So Robert the 3rd of Scotland is one of my 19th great-grandfathers. So I am going to show you how he is related to me by pressing this here. So forgive me because I'm going to try and hold it in a way that I'm going to keep as still as possible so you can see. Okay. So you can see James I of Scotland there, and I need not say anything further about that. So I'm going to shimmy over to some other people. So I'm going to go back to the tree, go back to this little search button here, and we'll go again. How about we go for... Oh, how about we go for Henry VII of England? I know he was pretty much not the greatest of guys. But history, there's lots of nasty people and there's lots of nice people. Doesn't matter. So, Henry VII. So he's the father-in-law of my 16th great-grandfather. He is basically Margaret Tudor's father. So I will show you by shimmying over to... Alright, so actually I'm not going to shimmy over to that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to put James IV in. For many, many, many times I looked at this and I got those two switched around the wrong way. It's James IV of Scotland, not James VI of Scotland. Now, I have done other videos. I'm a bit tired, so I'm probably just going to shimmy through this quickly. Oh, come on. Sorry, I'm faffing. Now, this is my bloodline. There's absolutely nothing anybody can do to take away my bloodline. So if we look at, let's view in tree. And that just goes down. So let's have a look at the James II of Scotland. So, I mean, I don't think I really need to do this. Well, I do, but I don't think I should have to do this. Can you see why certain people did want to try to steal my DNA and try to lay claim to being related to me or my family? But they're not. This is my family's DNA through my mother. Now, I mean, I can pull in other names and show you how I'm linked and related and carrying the blood of certain houses. So let's have a look. We're going to pull in the Tudors now. So I'll show you how I am related to... So he's the paternal grandfather of the wife, which is Margaret Tudor, of my 16th great-grandfather, James IV, of Scotland. I still carry... This bloodline will still pass through. It will pass through. So when they come together, when James IV of Scotland and Margaret Tudor come together, this bloodline carries through. I carry more royal blood than I initially thought. I initially thought that I just carried the House of Stuart. But when I looked properly into it, I found out that I carried the Tudor. I carried Dunkeld. I carry Robert the Bruce, for crying out loud, who is the grandfather of, hang on a second, let's go back to Robert the Third. So I can just remind myself. I haven't put everything into the tree. So, Robert the Third's mother, I think, is Marjorie Bruce, who's the daughter of Robert the Bruce. So I just haven't put it into the tree. Right, you can look it up yourselves. Now, I do carry this blood. It's my DNA. It doesn't matter how poor I have been in my life or my mother has been. It doesn't matter, because it is not money that maketh a royal bloodline. It's the bloodline. And for those from other countries that don't understand, many different lineages have lost money over many years. It's happened over and over again. The absolute abhorrent treatment of my family since what? Second World War. I mean, my grandfather apparently died in 1953. I've yet to get to ask any questions about that. You know, it's just really quite sad, because what people don't understand is I don't need to have a palace or a throne or crown. It is my birthright. It's my mother's birthright. It's my son's birthright. It's our ancestry. I carry lots of lineages. I mean, for example, we're talking also got the House of York. Well, York and Lancaster joined. I mean, there's lots of other peoples in the tree. So there you go. You can see how that works. Right. So through that marriage, so this is the father, right, of Margaret Tudor. Okay. So let's have a look at, oh, who's this? Edward IV of England. Right, okay, so this is how we're related. So I have done videos showing these things in a bit more detail. I'm quite tired, to be honest. I'm going to bed soon. I want another cup of tea. So I'm going to, excuse me, I'm going to leave it with going back to, let's go back to my 19th great grandfather. As I said, I haven't filled out the whole of the tree. There are people that will be in the court of Lion and the College of Arms that know all of the rest. Ask them if they're not corrupted. So take that in. Take that in. Robert III of Scotland is my 19th great-grandfather. Shall we see who my 20th great-grandfather is? Alright, I'll try not to knock this over. I'm just going to open up another page. Robert III of Scotland. My touch typing is well off. And as I said, I'm tired. So we'll get Robert III of Scotland. Okay. Let's get him up on Wikipedia. And his father is... His mother is Elizabeth Muir. Now, in my first DNA account, which I had to delete, I had actually put this information in. So I did have... Oh, sorry. I did have this. So let's have a look at my 20th great-grandfather. Robert II, King of Scotland, Stuart dynasty. Shall we have a look at his mother and father? So the way to do that. See, I just haven't put any information into my tree. So we'll go down and... And his father is the son of Walter Stewart, 6th High Steward of Scotland, and Marjorie Bruce, daughter of Robert the Bruce. So this is my 20th great-grandfather. And my 21st great-grandfather is Walter Stewart, 6th High Steward of Scotland. And my 21st great-grandmother is Marjorie Bruce. Which means that one of my 22nd great-grandfathers is Robert the Bruce. And there's a lot more. I'm just showing one lineage. If I was to go through all the lineages and go back through, you're going to see there's a lot more. And unfortunately for all the corrupted people, I have fully got the bloodline. And another thing, if I go to my DNA, I want people to understand something, that even though I have yet to do full research on my dad's Celtic lineages and Gaelic lineages, okay, a percentage of this is from my father. All of that is from my father. And that is from my father. My father was Celtic. So what I can do, if I shimmy up here, is I can show you by parents. And again, I've already done this on video. And we can go down, and I've already shown people this. So What I am not going to do right now is tell you names that are connected to Scotland that my dad carries and my mother doesn't carry. Let me keep that to myself. So my dad has a smidgen as well. So at some point I will do more research into this, but the fun was taken away from it when people started causing me trouble the moment I did my first DNA test. I was so excited that I especially wanted to get to know more about my dad's family. The lies of some perverted racists completely destroyed it for not just myself, but my son to get to know my dad's family. Sadly, they fell for it all. Anyway, I'm going to stop this video because I'm about to run out of space. I want a cup of tea. I'm going to have a rest, but there you go.